Do you struggle with motivation and consistency? Are you maybe even feeling like your whole life is slipping you by? Are you desperately just walking down a dark tunnel, hoping that there's a light at the end, that one day you will be released into the world? It's no longer one day, it's day one for you, and you're actually taking action on your life. If you're sleepwalking through life, I can really understand that. I was in that exact depressed spot that you might be in. You are so mentally fogged out that you don't even understand essentially what's going on. Your battery is on like 2%, and it's been on 2% for 5 years. You're not living in the moment. You're like either stuck in the past or you're worrying about the future and hoping and pushing and coping your way forward, because at some point it has to get better, right? And I want to talk to you about a pretty extreme way to get you out of this state, because that's what I needed, and it just happened to me. Like fate finally had my back, and it gave me an insane life situation, and I got so much stress in my life that I managed to wake myself up and get that day one. And so this is like an extreme way to get back into the game, but I want to show you that you can do it. And if you're this depressed or this stuck, I think you should do it. So let me walk you through what I'm talking about. There's always two paths that you need to take, and you understand this, and you're pretty much hoping that you're walking here. It feels like you're walking here, but you're hoping you're walking here, and at the end of the road your dream life is waiting, and it's just so painful to do this. But the reason why it's so painful is because you're intuitively understanding that you're actually walking down here. You're actually walking towards death, you know? You're gonna suffer either way, so why not suffer the path of life? And I think you understand this, and it's not a question about you can't handle suffering. It's about you don't even have the energy to like take a shortcut back here. Like you can't even perceive how to do it. Like how can I even do with that? How can I walk back? Like you're just stuck, man. It's like fuck. And this was me, and that's why you're watching this video still, because maybe you're relating in some way, and I can totally feel you, man. It is fucking horrible. It is horrible. And here's what I found that changed everything for me. I'm sure like up to this point, you kind of the only energy you can summon up is energy from stress, from anger, from when life gets so bad, the pain gets so bad that it's forcing you to change. You finally start doing shit, and then you burn out, because of course you do, because you're running on stress. And so when the discomfort gets too much, you start doing it. But at least it's working for you, and it's almost like you're relying on, yeah, well, when I get when it gets bad enough, I'll get back into that cycle of being so pissed off I take action again. And we're essentially gonna hijack this concept on like a really extreme level. That's what I needed. But you need to study your life honestly, because you kind of need to snap out of this brain fog automatic walk through your life where you're not actually doing what you would like to do. You're not living for yourself. You're not building something for yourself. Sitting down and just writing stuff like this out, or doing a voice note walk, is really good, because you need to snap into the moment. You need to be present and actually understand what you want and what you never change, and where you're lying to yourself, and all these things. You need to get a snapshot of your life. You need to do this. And it can be kind of nice to sit down and actually audit yourself, and it's like, shit's not going good. Let's figure out what would make it go good. And change is governed by a simple equation. Like, and we've talked about this, like the pain of staying the same must exceed the pain of changing. But even if the pain of staying the same is exceeding, if you feel like you don't have any passion for anything, or you're lost in life, you don't know what to do, which is why you're like sleepwalking because you're kind of hoping you'll one day find your passion or whatever, then I get why you can't really do it. It's like he who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. But if you can't imagine a why for yourself that's strong enough, like, then what? And that's a really tough position to be in. That is really tough. If you can't choose where you want to go, and if you can't map the route out, then it's tough. And like making a vision board would be interesting in this stage, because you would have to force yourself to actually think about what is it that you would want to do, and be as extreme as possible. Like if a goal that you set is giving you a little bit of like butterflies or anxiety or overwhelms you, that's good. That means you're on the right track of like finding out what you would actually want to do, because you might be so stuck in the mindset of 9 to 5, slave mentality, whatever bullshit you're stuck in, and it's like the peak of your existence, like it was for me back then. Well, if I can work in IT, I could work from home some days and I wouldn't be constantly drained, and I'll fucking go and kill myself. As an exercise, what would your dream life look like? And kinda sit there with it and try to put shit on it. But because the real problem here is like you're trying to do more, but you're clinging on to like a pattern and the programs of your old identity. Somehow your identity have become this zombie walking through life, because your identity is based on truth, and that truth is the actions you take every day. You're giving yourself verification of that you are this person every day you do it. Even though you might not agree with it, there's a cognitive dissonance here, because there is a certain type of life you want to live, but every day you prove to yourself that you're not walking towards it. You are just hoping that you do, but you're not. And the further you get away from your identity, the more resistance you will feel. And so it's really hard if you're this stuck to get out of it, because you're fueled on that anger and that cortisol and that stress. But at some point, you can't just be fueled by something that's rooted in your old identity anyway. Like you're mad at your old identity, but you don't have a clear path to go towards. And so you're just kind of bunging around and burning out. And this is where I was at. And if you want to be ballin', you gotta be all in. And that's what happened to me. I decided to go all in after, losing my job. And I could either decide on taking another job, I could decide on just continuously walking down this dark tunnel, or I could decide what would happen if I stopped saying one day and this was actually my day one. What would happen? The worst thing that could happen would me going back to that slave life. And that would feel like death. But, what would happen though if I just said I'm going all in? And now all the expectations that were put on you are gone. All that old identity is just now stuck. You're no longer proving to your brain every day that you are this identity. You're actually on your own now. You're out into the ocean. Let's see if you can swim. Take that moon shot. I'm saying fuck it and I'm going all in. What would I do? And there's a smart way to do this, and there's a reckless way to do it. And I did it in a reckless way. I didn't have any money when I lost my job. I had like 4 months worth of rent. But I was so desperate, and I understood this is like a crossway in my life right now. I have to go all in on myself and see what I come up with. And so if you can, in your job, just stockpile money with the intention that on this date, I am going all in, and for 6 months, I will figure shit out. That's like a targeted approach of going back down the road towards the bad castle and like resetting your shit. Force just an ungodly amount of uncertainty and stress into your life. But you gave yourself a little bit of a backup plan, but you need to take the risk. At this point in your life, if you're still listening and can relate, you need to take a risk. You know, best case, it changes your whole fucking life. And it did for me. I'm finally living my life. It feels like I haven't lived my life apart from like the past 2 years. It's like you're restarting your whole life. Like, what would happen if you just broke away and took this risk? Like, you have no idea, and you need to force yourself to do it. If you have no idea what to do, you're not passionate, you're trying to find your passion, you're not passionate about anything, you have a hard time even doing a vision board, you're just stuck hoping and coping, you have to take a risk and get out of it. You literally have to put yourself like this and unironically say, this is fine, because this is according to the plan. What would happen when everything is burning in your life like this? And so for me, I needed the added stress of not even having any money saved up. And it forced me to start, how can I make money online then? How can I do something that I might be good at? Or how can I figure shit out? And figure shit out I did. And it was just like this insane moment of actually realizing more about who you are. And it's not a cheat code, but it's certainly something that'll do something to you. For the first time in your life, you might actually be able to say yes here instead of your whole life feeling like this. You're gonna suffer either way. You sure know that by now. But having a yes here instead of a no, that's like a new life experience for you. You can orchestrate a situation where you're saying yes to life. Like the man rolling up the ball off the hill, you have to imagine him being happy doing it, and it's a completely different thing then. And I mean, nothing is happening in your life anyway. That's the brutal reality. You're gonna become the same as your coworkers, the omega normies stuck at their job for 30 years. And it's just like, if you can relate to this shit, you have to get out of this shit. And it means you're gonna have to tell everyone to fuck off. You're entering your mountain arc era. You're going up the mountain and you're gonna train. And you will descend only when you have ascended, essentially. At the end of the road, what will happen to you? You will just go to hell and you'll meet the person that you could have become. That guy who is him will look at you. But you can engineer a time loop. You can engineer like a timeline switch here. And if you're desperate enough, you can just fucking quit your job today. Or you save up money and you set a time. But it's like, what would happen if you just put yourself into the fire and actually went after a new way to live your life, regardless what your dream is? And this is, of course, coming from a perspective where people can relate to this type of stuff, where you just don't have the energy almost to even save up money, but you have this drive and you want to live up to your potential. It's not about quitting your job, day rotting and living off benefits. But if living off benefits and bed rotting will change the direction of your life, then do that then. I'm just saying, like, do something. It's time for you to do something. It is actually time for you to do something. All your strategies and mental work brought you up to this point. And so it's obviously not working. Essentially, you're not qualified to help yourself even. At least not this identity version of yourself. And you just keep giving proof to your brain that you are this identity. And so at the bare minimum, letting everything burn will allow you the space to start giving yourself proof of other things. You can start living more aligned with what you want to do. If that means you have to, like, I don't know what it means. For me, it meant I want to make money online. I want to be creative. You know, I've watched YouTube my whole life. Fuck it, I'm just gonna become a video editor and sell my service as a freelancer, and I'm gonna see if I can make this shit happen. And I had like 1 month's worth of rent left, and I hit it. I got a client so I could pay rent. Finally, I made like 2K a month. and I was after the freedom. You're not after money. You're after the freedom to get your life back, and then you can build. Finally, you can fix your health. You can attack your revenue issues. Like, the freedom to have your life back. You can orchestrate it. You can. And you're essentially injecting a decision into your life. Put yourself into a position where it's sink or swim. The biggest risk of your life will be that you never took a risk at all. And so what would happen if you were forced to sink or swim? Like, what would happen? I'm telling you, you don't know. And actually, what if you swim? What if you swim? And that is really the core of my message here. This is what I needed, because this is from my own experience. And I just sat there. I'm not going back to my old world. It's not leading anywhere. I am just gonna be all in. And I was so delusional, and I was like, made me half crazy because the amount of stress I felt from it. It's gonna be very painful and tough. But all of a sudden, you're just attacking solutions, and you're grinding. You're becoming more and more desperate, but you're actually doing something in your life. Then you're at least risking, and you're learning, and you're waking yourself up. You're shaking yourself up. You need to inject a risk into your life. Just burn it all down, man. This is a very extreme way to do it. Obviously, the best way is to save up money and do your side hustle at the same time. I'm speaking to the very particular individuals that can't do that, or you don't have energy to do it. You're so drained. And you might think, yeah, I could let it all burn, but I'm so depressed, I would just die. Isn't the spiritual death worse? And if you run out of money, I'm sure you can make it work anyway. Having a period of your life where you just invite chaos like this is what you need. And it's what you're waiting for, actually. You're waiting for that stick or twist moment. You're waiting for something to happen. And if it's not happened yet, then you can force it to happen, goddammit. And I'm so lucky that I got fired, essentially, after 10 years of dreading everything and all my money, and I moved, and I hit rock bottom, essentially. And because I did that, I could see clearly. And I decided to see if I could make my own way. I got some cold water dunked over me. And that's why I'm trying to get this message across. Because if you don't hit rock bottom, you need to you need to synthesize that shit. You need to create that environment for yourself then. Because this is a way to get out. At the very least, it's a way for you to see what would happen within that time span, and you would have a story from it. But I think you would be surprised. At least something is happening in your life now, man. And where that can go from, you have no idea. So give yourself the opportunity to realize your own potential. No one is coming to save you. Inject chaos and then see what happens with yourself. Because the real you is in there somewhere. And the person you are right now is not the real you. But the real you that you're longing for, he needs to be unleashed into this chaos. And from there, you can actually start to live and build. Yeah, shit's crazy. But this is a way you can do it. I did it. I'm finally fixing all the issues in my life. Yeah.